Well, hey, how's your week been?
It's been, I
It's
am,
been.
I'm just really exhausted. I feel like I still haven't recuperated from that weekend. And see, this is why I don't
Mhm.
go out. I am someone who stays in and like, it was just nonstop. Like, I understand that that's like the modern bachelorette party, but I don't think that's something that I'll do. I was envisioning maybe we'd go get a really nice dinner just because I love to eat. And that
Mhm.
doesn't mean we have to dress up. It just means good food.
Yeah,
And then I come home, watch all my favorite rom-coms, eat tons of junk food and then go to bed.
that's an evening. That sounds like a nice evening. The most like I used to do conventions a lot. Like I'd work the Comic-Con conventions and stuff. And it was exhausting. Like coming home, it was just like I don't want to do anything for at least a week. I am peopled out beyond belief. I don't know, beyond description.
Yes, that just summed it up very, very well. I had to babysit yesterday from
Mhm.
4 to 8. And I felt so bad because normally I'm so sweet with these two boys, but I was just like, stop asking me questions, leave me alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a monster.
Just got your broom out and just started beating on them mercilessly.
I wanted to, I swear, but I did not.
Good evening or morning or whatever time of the day it happens to be. Welcome one, welcome all to the Writer's Black podcast. I am one of your hosts, Lego My Grego, joined alongside, she's TNT, she's Dynamite, Taylor Noel Thomas. How are you doing on this fine day?
I'm good. Just finished up making dinner and now I'm sitting here.
Ooh, what'd you guys have?
We made mushroom risotto.
Nice. I had a fancy one too. I made hot dogs and mac and cheese.
Wow. Wow.
Dude, I prided myself for so long on my ability to cook, and I was a really good cook. I still am, I guess, theoretically, but it's like ever since we've moved, I've just been tired. I don't know, because like we finally have kitchen space. We finally have, and I don't do anything with it. It's like I'll make spaghetti, I'll make mac and cheese. I will be as lazy as humanly possible. We don't have a full-sized oven, and that's part of it.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got everything moved in, got the gas line hooked up, and the gas line took like a week to get figured out because it was just so stuck. And then got the gas line plugged in, got the oven turned on, and then the oven circuit board died. So the stovetop works, but the oven doesn't work. I ordered a replacement part on Amazon. It took almost 3 months to show up, and it was the wrong circuit board. It wasn't even close. I just wanted to make I wanted to make pizzas. Like I was in one of those phases. I just wanted to make my pizzas again.
Yes.
And no, not in the cards. So yeah, so toaster oven and chicky nugs for me.
I read a study recently about how people with ADHD tend to eat the worst of every other human being on the planet.
Mhm.
It's because our brains are constantly craving serotonin. So foods with high amounts of sugar and like fats and stuff like that, that's what we're going to gravitate towards. And I'm like, well, this summed up why I stick to like the things I like. I like chips. I like mac and cheese. I like chicken nuggets. Like you described, those are things like the mushroom risotto. Listen, if I didn't have my husband to constantly push me around and tell me we need to cook dinner, I'd eat ramen noodle like every day.
I had a very big problem with binge eating, and that's a large reason why is because I was a very big boy. I ate because of boredom. I ate because of any excuse I had to. And it didn't help that I grew up with my mother, whose solution to any distress in her child was eat, you'll feel better. And it's like, no, I'm going through emotional turmoil. Hot Pockets won't fix it. But you don't learn that until you're well on your way. And
agreed, because I had the same issue. It started out with anorexia when I was a kid, but developed into binge eating when I realized when I started joining sports and stuff like that, the anorexia doesn't work anymore because it's like
you need that energy.
You're gonna die. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll just eat to solve all my problems. And then it lasted for years. I'm sad, I'll eat. I'm happy, let's eat. Everything was eating. And even now I have to really like watch myself like, nope, let's process this feeling without going to grab a snack.
Yeah, for me, I never really had healthy eating habits as a result of that, but I played sports, so it balanced out a little bit. And then when we got to high school and I gave up sports and everything else because I wanted to dedicate full time to YouTube because I was an idiot. I kept eating the way I was eating when I played sports. And I don't know if you remember senior year, I was almost 400 pounds. I was a very big kid. Like I look at pictures of myself from the senior year and the year right after. I looked sick. But yeah, like because like when I would play sports, I remember this very vividly when I was playing football in 8th grade. My mother would, after every game, get me a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I would eat it in the bathtub because I was in so much pain. And that wasn't healthy then. I was still gaining weight because that was just stupid, but I was burning off enough that I could, maintain that, I guess, to a degree. but then I kept eating like that without any physical activity.
You know what that sounds like to me?
What's that?
That sounds like a personal essay just waiting to come out.
That sounds like a personal essay just waiting to come out, because we're a writing podcast. That's right. This is the Writer's Block podcast, the podcast for writers who cannot write. Of course, I'm speaking more about myself than anything else because I don't know how to finish anything. I have been referring to myself as the Professor Calamitous of the literary world because I cannot finish anything I start. But yeah, this is a podcast where we sit and we talk about our love for writing, our passion for writing, and just kind of aspirational and where we're going. So it's all fun and games. Last week was or 2 weeks ago was our very first podcast. I told Grim when I was on editing that we could make if we could just break this up into the individual topics we go on. We have an entire series with the topics in this one podcast.
Agreed.
They'll be a little bit more structurally sound going forward. I just wanted something to kind of I almost said chum the waters. That's not right. Break the ice.
Yes.
And chum the waters. So let's I guess right out of the gate. We'll check in on our homework, see how we did on our homework. We'll say we give a topic at the end of the episode, things we want to work on that given week, and then we check back the following episode to see how we did. Taylor, you said you wanted to write a poem.
I did. Not only did I write a poem, but I wrote a love poem, which I've never written in my entire life. I'm so proud. It actually not this past week, but the weekend before that, I attended a writers conference. The Hurston Wright Foundation, an absolutely amazing foundation. I, by some miracle, got accepted, and it was all Black writers, and which that's never a space that I've ever had in my entire life. And it was absolutely beautiful. I think I spent a good chunk of the weekend like crying just because it's so beautiful. But during that time, one of our prompts just got me to like write all of my emotions, which I am not great with connecting with my emotions. And because of that, I was able to write a love poem and eventually give it to my husband. And it made me feel so good because, like I said, I'm not great with verbally expressing how I feel. And so finally got to put it on paper, and that made it feel more real.
Good.
Woohoo! What about you?
Well, I made progress.
Yes,
I made progress. I did not. So my thing was I had 2 short stories that I started working on earlier this year, and I wanted to finish them both.
Yeah.
I didn't. I worked on one of them pretty, and then I drifted into working on 2 other things that I did not intend to work on this week. It's funny when you go back to something that you haven't really looked at in however long, you kind of forget the nooks and crannies of the characters that you're creating and the tone you're going for. Like I thought I remembered it was the one, the heaven story where the guy is waiting outside of heaven because he's been told to go to hell, and he's like, nope, I'm just gonna wait here. I'm essentially like a picket line kind of thing. But I forgot kind of the what I was going for that character specifically. It kind of feels like something out of like a Shel Silverstein poem or a book or something, where he just wants to be left alone. He is camped outside of heaven, but he's close enough to the gate that he has found a loophole and a way to use like magic that's coming out of heaven to just materialize stuff. So he materializes like a lawn chair and a pop and a grill and stuff like that, and he's just sitting there and no one can see him, and he just sits there for however many years. It's like I went back and looked at this and I'm like, oh my god, this isn't bad. Who wrote that? Oh yeah, this is me. Yeah, it's like he's sitting there, he's just people watching in his little lawn chairs, people come and go, and like the way I describe like the line into heaven is like an infinite line spanning all of time and space. So you're getting people from the 1950s Americana behind people from like the 27th century alien people. Finally, he gets a couple hundred years past of that, and he's just like, I want some companionship, and he like calls someone over who is going through a similar thing as him. I know that's what it was. He feels for them because it's the same situation. So he calls that person over, and then that person, she's just like, we need to help everyone, and suddenly it's a crowd of people, and he just wants to be left alone. I think so. The place that kind of I'm having a problem is it's towards the end. They call over who is essentially an Alex Jones type character, who has been told he cannot go into heaven very clearly because you're a terrible human being. And clearly this is not heaven. You're all clearly, I cannot write terrible people, not because I can't write them, because I don't want to access that part of my brain. It's so, with a character like that especially, it's like, I
get it though, because I have no issues No, actually, you're right. I do have issues writing bad characters or like villains, because I always want to humanize them. Like, yes, they said and did all these bad things, but here's everything that contributed to it. I'm like, I always have to find a balance. And it's like, sometimes it's okay to just write things as you perceive them, which means some people are assholes.
Yeah.
But I can't do it.
Yeah. And it's like, so, great example is there's a story I wrote in high school. It was me trying to rip off The Walking Dead. But this villain faction I came up with, they were called the Garrison, and they were a cult essentially, who essentially, like at the beginning of the apocalypse, they were all huddled in a church. They're religious fanatics, and one of like the guy who essentially they choose as their leader survived. I think it was a bite or an explosion or a gunshot or something like that, and he convinced them from that he was an angel sent to rescue them, and their entire mission is to send the survivors to heaven. You finally passed the test, but unfortunately that involves a lot of murder and a lot of ritual sacrificing. My brain with that character went to a very dark place. I refer to myself as a survivor of the Catholic Church. Did you watch Midnight Mass?
Oh, now talk about phenomenal writing. That was probably hands down one of the best that guy has ever written in his life. That was amazing.
I was so triggered the entire time I was watching, and that's what I'm saying. Like, well, that's another example of awful characters, like the nun or whoever the hell she was. She was just a monster, and I'm like, I can't write people like this. I will murder them in my brain right away.
Yes.
Like with this. Go ahead.
It sends me down a dark hole the minute I start to like remember those things, because I'm like, I just can't imagine how someone can be so evil, so cruel.
Yeah. And
it's so hard.
Yeah, and it's like it's weird because with this one, with the short story, with the Alex Jones like character, I can write a villain like a Negan from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But someone who is genuinely just a horrible excuse for a human being, it's hard. It's really hard. Yes. I know the direction I want to. It's like I know the direction I want to go, but it's just putting the pieces there in a way that is A, within my wheelhouse, B, accurate to the character, and C, not crossing any lines. Like this is a bad character I'm writing, but it's always like I'm worried that I'm going to come across as, oh, this guy is really sexist, this guy is really racist, and it's like, no, I'm just trying to make commentary. Please don't hate me.
No, I completely agree. Like when I write characters who might be homophobic, which especially when I'm writing stories about my family who are very homophobic, I'm always like, oh no, someone's gonna think that I think this, and it's like, no. And like a professor told me, you have to just get it out. You have to not let your brain overthink it. Get it out the way that you saw it. Because that's what matters, and reminding yourself that how you perceive things matters just as much as how others perceive things. It just kind of comes back down to, do we think that we matter? Like, I think my counselors have asked me that 1,000 times. Every time I'm like, haha, no.
I don't.
I don't.
You take me off the chessboard, the game goes on just the same.
Exactly. And so I have to remind myself, okay, you do matter. That's why people want to read your writing, and you need to get this down, because I'm sure there's someone out there who worries about the same exact things.
It's a weird balance. And I mean, I'm a straight white man. I went on this is kind of a tangent, but I think I'm going somewhere with this at least. This was in 2019 or 2017. Yeah, whatever, end of Donald Trump's first term. So he's going into his second inauguration, whatever. I was working in master control for television broadcast. I don't remember it wasn't that. It was the border crisis was happening. I've been listening to just so much of that, because it was all news at me. Every atrocity that's happening, and every pathetic white man saying, oh, well, they're trying to steal our job. They're fucking kids. They were children. Yeah. Literally. And I went on this massive like freak out about how I am so fucking sick of being a white man, because we are the problem. And I scared, I think, at least 3 people in that room, because I was fuming. I don't go on rants, like super big rants super often. When I do, I'm kind of scary. And I don't know if it's because I'm genuinely intimidating or people think I'm insane, but I never want to embody the things that people don't like about that. But at the same time, I also don't want to gatekeep and be, I'm super PC, man. Hello. And, I'm just going to sit in the background. Who wants a Kool-Aid or a wine spritzer? It's a weird balance. And yeah. And so kind of writing characters like this, it's weird because I don't want to cross a line. I don't want to cross any lines.
Agree. And coming to terms with, especially in writing, the ways that I'm super privileged, like, oh, it is so uncomfortable, but it's so necessary too, because it's how am I supposed to write well-rounded and complicated characters if I can't address the ways that I'm flawed as well? And there's so many ways that I am flawed. And
so one project I've been working on this week, it's kind of a revisit of something else, another thing, but I found an angle on it I actually like. It is a graphic novel I was started working on a couple of years back, called All My Heroes Need Therapy.
Ooh.
And it is meant to be kind of like a one-shot graphic novel of superheroes, but essentially, so you know how The Boys is kind of like a play on like making fun of superheroes. This is the play on that, making fun of that. And so going the other way with it, where it's like these people are damaged. A couple of years ago, DC Comics did a run called Heroes in Crisis. It was advertised as this is heroes seeking therapy. This is kind of showing the damage and the wear and tear that are done to these heroes who go through these insane, world-changing events, literal crises. It kind of dropped the ball in the back half. That pitch kind of became an afterthought, and I was really loving up to that point. And so this is kind of me wanting to make that story. I was having problems wrapping my head around either I don't want to stick on just this one character, this one topic, whatever, for too long. And I also don't want to make it, okay, or we're moving away from this now. Let's go to superhero antics. And I think I found a good angle on it finally. And kind of the bring it back to whatever it was that led us here with the dealing with coming to terms with yourself. I'm realizing that a lot of the characters, kind of the ways I've morphed and shaped them, it is a lot of my issues and a lot of my traumas kind of schismed and fragmented across these different characters. That's really kind of therapeutic. I don't know what it is. It's just like it's not compartmentalization, but it's compartmentalizing your issues. And it feels good. It feels good.
It does. That's a big reason why I love creative nonfiction, because I am piecing together all the parts of my childhood that maybe didn't make sense or I didn't know how to process as a kid. Now I'm like, shit, I didn't deserve that. And now as an adult, I can like heal that inner child that was really still fucked up. And it's really great.
Yeah, you gotta give yourself a hug.
Exactly.
You said something about a personal essay earlier. I had an idea for one.
Ooh.
So I don't know how to make this a full essay. It's kind of just more like a little one shot, kind of 1 to 2 pager. But it is taking the end of last year. 2021, I said last week, was a very bad year for me. At the end of the year, there was a day, and this was right before we got COVID, and COVID weirdly kind of changed everything for me because I got sick and I quit drinking because I had fallen back into drinking really heavily. And I got COVID. So I quit drinking because I didn't want to, I didn't want to dehydrate myself any more than I already was and whatever else. And then I got my current job, and that really changed my entire world. But there was a moment, and I remember this so vividly. I was sitting on the floor, I was drunk, and the idea that I had was taking that moment and what would I say if I walked in right now? If I walked into that moment, what would I say? And I feel like that's one of those things that's been done before. That kind of thing has been done time and time again. But
listen, your anxiety, your depression, your ADHD, all of it's going to tell you no one's going to read this. It's been done before. Nothing you do is ever going to be interesting. All the time, my brain is telling me this is stupid. No one's going to like it. And then I post it and someone's like, this meant so much to me. Oh my God, it changed my life. And I'm like, you just have to ignore those thoughts. Like just you describing that to me, that is something that I would need, because I know I have a lot of issues, and those are drinking during 2020 became a huge, it is still, I'm not gonna lie, huge problem for me. And it's like, there's someone out there who really, really needs to read that. And even if there isn't a single person, maybe you need to be the one that reads that, You know what?
I think we have my project for next week. I'm gonna write that down now. That is gonna. We'll circle back to that. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that essay, and then I'm going to finish this damn heaven story. I'm gonna do it.
Yes. Actually, you reminded me, there's a piece I'm really struggling with, and it's about, I'm conflicted. Part of me wants to write about my really, really bad sexual experiences with guys, but we're getting to the part of my life, like I've been doing it by years, from like the moment I first started kissing boys, which was very late in life. So 17 years old is very late, to the point where like I'm obviously having sex, but we're starting to get to the point where it's very clearly not consensual, and I'm clamming the hell up. And then there's another part of me that wants to write about my mom. Currently, my mother is mad at me this week. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
So I'm just struggling to write about her when I'm just so mad at her right now. So it's just, how do you push through trauma?
Yeah.
Right.
It's really weird because with parent stuff, there is a part of me that wants to, maintain the innocent vision of my parents I've always had. Like my dad's been dead for almost 10 years now, and I want to look back on him fondly, and I usually do.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
there is no denying that we were kind of on the cusp of a very abusive father-son relationship.
Yeah.
And with hindsight and being an adult, I do see my dad had issues that were not getting dealt with. I do understand that there was a lot of other factors that made him the way he was. But that doesn't change the fact that I am now the way I am because of that, or my mom kind of having the view of her being the warm, caring parent who actually loves me.
Yes.
But in reality, she's going through the motions because this is what she thinks she needs to do. She actually doesn't really care that much. She is a very manipulative person at times.
Yeah.
And it's like, what side of that do you fall on? Because either you glorify them or you villainize them, and that middle ground is very hard to find at times.
That is probably why I've been in therapy for a billion years, because trying to find that middle ground is so hard. Like, I love my mother to death, but she fucked me up in a lot of different ways. And I don't know why it's so hard to just say that. They can be good people who did really bad things, but for some reason my brain's like, no, you need to either make them a villain or an angel.
Yeah, black or white. There is no gray.
Yes, exactly.
Do or do not. There is no try. Yeah.
The thing is, when I get out of this black and white dichotomy that I have, I write such good characters, but sometimes you just get stuck in this writer's block where you're just in black and white characters, and all my pieces sound rough.
Yeah, that's actually one thing with the main character of the superhero thing I want to work on is he is a superhero. He is someone who goes out and he saves the day and whatever. But kind of the way where we find him is he is recently divorced because he lied to his wife. His wife wanted him to quit crime fighting after they had their kid, and he agreed to stop. And then I'm kind of spoiling something that I may or may not actually finish. He agrees to stop, and he goes out and does it anyway, and kind of under the cover of like a new alias. And then she finds out because he gets the shit beat out of him, and that's why she ends up leaving him, because they just had a kid and everything like that. And then he is has been cutting off, taking for granted the relationships in his life, so that he is kind of alone really when we meet up with him. And he goes to superhero group therapy where he kind of reconnects with his old best friend, and it kind of becomes like, have you ever seen My Name is Earl?
Yes, I've seen the entire series.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it kind of turns into like the base premise of his list for a little bit, where he's trying to make amends to the people he's wronged, but it takes a lot of different twists and turns. But it's kind of finding that shade of gray where it's like, he is a good person. He has just made some very bad decisions and very selfish decisions, and that's normal. But it's finding that middle ground. Like, I want him to be a likable character. Exactly. How do you write a likable character that is so unlikable at times?
That's a very good point. One of my most recent pieces is my older white brother calling me the N-word. And I was so scared to release this piece, because if you just say that without any context, everyone immediately hates my brother. And I get it, because sometimes I really hate my brother too.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I think about those moments, I want to cry. But when you look at the whole picture, it's like, it's not just him. Look at everything that has contributed to this one moment, my entire family and all their anti-Blackness, like everything that's led up to this one moment. So yes, he did a lot of bad things. He said a lot of bad things. Do I think he still loves me all these years later? Yes. Do I think it's a flawed love? Yes. And so I think it's really important. We need to include all of these flaws, these really messed up mistakes, because honestly, all of us humans are the exact same way. I have done so many things I regret, but I've also done a lot of really great things I'm super proud of. And that's what makes a really great character, is including all the everything, not just the good.
You're 100% right. You have to look at, what is it? The quote about it's from, oh my God, I'm thinking about this like it's a deep quote. It's from Danny Phantom. The quote, it's the movie where he's fighting himself in the future, and like the time travel god or whatever is like, these guys look at life like a parade. They're watching it pass by them. I see the whole picture. It's finding, God, that is a profound God, Danny Phantom. Cartoons used to be so great.
Danny Phantom was amazing. Also, part of the reason why I realized I was gay is I was in love with both Danny and that girl.
Sam.
Yes. I was like, oh my God. I know it's a cartoon, but still, I was in love with both of them.
Yeah, when you kind of go back and look at the cartoon characters that we grew up with, you can definitely tell where my type comes from.
Yes. Yes.
Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Yes.
First recorded instance.
Oh my God. I just like, wow, dark-haired gothy women.
Yeah, Hex Girls it is. Yes, please.
The Hex Girls. Gosh.
Yes. Terrifying, but also makes you think some things.
Exactly.
And on that, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back very shortly to continue the Writer's Block podcast. It's been a very heavy episode.
It has.
So I think we'll switch gears when we come back, and we'll talk about comedy. Stay with us.
I got some dinner.
You got some dinner. Nice. Some of that. Oh my God, you just told me about this too. It sounded good.
Mushroom risotto. See,
Risotto.
I don't like mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
This is so what I do is just move those aside because we don't put a whole bunch in them. It's just to get the taste. Mm-hmm. But the rice, never had risotto until this year, and oh my,
life changing. Yeah. That's like me with gyros. I recently had my first gyro.
Oh,
I wasted so much time. I wasted so much time not eating gyros, and now it's all I want to eat. And you go to like we go to T. Allen's. And I get the gyro plate, and you have to order the extra pita because there's so much more than just one pita can contain, and it's amazing. Definitely. I love it.
Oh. Have you ever been to Naf Naf?
Gesundheit.
So Naf Naf Grill. I know I'd never heard of it before in my life. It's a Mediterranean restaurant that's set up like a Chipotle. Ooh. So you can like create little bowls and things like that. And it's all Mediterranean food. Unfortunately, it is not anywhere near us. It is. There is a location in Carmel and there's a location in Indianapolis. So anytime I find a reason to go to Indy, I stop at both locations. I stop on the way there and the way back. And they have this shawarma chicken, and they like cut it off the like roaster in front of you. It is.
Yeah, when I go to Indy, I will either do Blimpie or I'll do Noble Romans because we don't have them up here anymore. And then Fort Wayne, we go out there, they have a Lee's chicken. I don't know if you ever had Lee's, but
Lee's is like, oh my God, we used to have one.
Yep, right around the corner from my house.
Yes, my brother worked there for years, and he used to bring it home. We loved it. Oh, well, now you have to add Naf Naf because it'll change I get the rice bowl. I don't know what they put in the rice, if it's crack or what, but it is amazing. It's just yellow rice, and it's phenomenal. And then I put the shawarma chicken. They have a variety of other things you can mix in, but they have this garlic sauce. We love it so much that we've decided we're gonna have Naf Naf cater our rehearsal dinner for our wedding.
Awesome. Yep. Oh my God. I think about it sometimes, like in a theoretical world, what would I have cater a wedding? And Portillo's is the thing that I keep coming back to, and it's like,
no judgments.
Italian beef for everyone.
Oof, and then chocolate cake.
Oh, chocolate cake and chocolate cake shake. I prefer the lemon cake shake, but that's like a spring summertime thing. It's so much. I
love lemon.
I have that chocolate cake shake, and I feel like I'm going to die. The lemon cake shake, like it's still ice cream, it's still heavy. It feels refreshing.
It's a nice balance.
It's a nice balance.
I agree. I just love lemon. And apparently lemons, if you just put them in just about any meal that you have, they help you absorb nutrients better.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea. So now I'm like, okay, now I have an excuse to squeeze lemon juice on just about everything I eat.
So before we get getting back into the real swing of things, I had one thing before we get too far away from it. Do you remember one of the 2 times I've ever met your mother? Do you remember when she shook me down?
No, I'm sorry. My memory is really rough.
Oh no, it's fine. It was a million years ago, and it was like one time, but it was me and Caitlin came to your apartment, and we were doing a project for health class. It was a video project. It was the Taco Bell commercial.
Oh my God.
Yep. And your mom came out and she was like, I'm just making sure you're not hanging out with drug dealers, and then she like saw me and she's like, what are your intentions with my daughter? And I'm like, what? Huh?
She was smoking hella drugs at that time. So that is so funny. I am so sorry. Yeah, my mom.
Oh no, you're fine. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing.
Oh my God, my mother.
So, comedy. Comedy is a weird thing. I feel like just because of how it's evolved, like in Shakespearean, tones, Romeo and Juliet's a comedy. Now like what's that?
Even them dying was.
Even them dying is. Well, I mean, that's pretty funny.
I'm sorry.
I love I don't like I think the Leo DiCaprio version of that story is trash, but I love
it.
I love the irony though of he takes the poison as she wakes up. I think that is the funniest thing. That is dramatic irony at its best.
Yes.
But now we think of comedy specifically as the yucks. Like, well, let's watch Spaceballs. Let's watch Hot Rod. Things like that. And I don't know obviously, I lean towards the latter being what comedy is, because that's what time has changed it into. I wonder when that change actually happened. But what is your your relationship to comedy? Have you ever aspired to be a comedic writer, I guess?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
I definitely think I've noticed that when I write, it tends to be pretty dramatic and sorrowful. But then the minute I go to read it in front of a audience, I add things that are in the writing that make it sound funnier. I don't know if it's because I try to distance myself from the sad emotions, or I just genuinely like making people laugh. I definitely think that I would love to be a comedic writer, just because I think there's so many awkward things in my life that would be beautiful to tell the world and make them laugh.
Yeah, kind of taking your own pain and turning it into someone else's amusement. It's like I was talking about. That's like I was talking about last week with the teen sex comedy that I started writing a while back. The things that script, I look back on it, I'm like, I am mortified. But someone will find this hilarious. Like, whoever wrote American Pie, that guy fucked a pie, or he knows someone who fucked a pie.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Someone knows someone who did the thing with the flute at band camp. It's hilarious.
Literally, when I tell people the story of my first time ever having sex, which was significantly later in life than most of my friends. We went to the same middle school. Most of our friends, like Marcus and I should not name names, but they were definitely having sex in middle school. I was not. I did not kiss a person until I was 17, and then I didn't have sex till I was 18 because I was waiting for I wanted my first kiss to be magical, like in a storybook or in a movie. And after that, I said, I don't care how anything else goes down, just that first kiss. And so once I got that magical first kiss, then I was like, fuck it.
Whatever. I'm down. I'm down to clown. Whatever else.
Yes. But when I tell people, in my head, I'm cringing about describing losing my virginity. But then everyone else is cracking the hell up. What were you thinking? And I'm like, okay, this is comedy, baby. Woo.
Oh, the mortification of it all. For me, I was that boyfriend because I had relationship quote unquotes throughout high school, and some of them have more quotations than others. Yes. All the cringe. I was soft boy to the extent of, oh baby, oh sweetie, oh boo boo boo, whatever. I was that lame motherfucker. I'm going somewhere with this. I swear to God. Come on, brain, work with me here.
Take your time.
It helps that when I kind of grew out of that phase, it wasn't as much I grew out of it, it's more I was with people who fucking hated pet names. I'm with someone now who fucking hates pet names, and I'm fine with it. I look at it now and I'm like, oh my God, I was a lame boy. I was a lame soft boy. But it's that's a caricature. That person, I was a caricature, and it's hilarious to look back on. As long as I'm not as long as I'm not remembering that it was me. That's what's funny.
Yes. I feel like we were imitating what we thought love was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what makes it funny now, because it's now that we're older and we actually know, we're like, oh my God, that's adorable and also really sad and hilarious at the same time. I did not date a ton of guys in high school because I was unfortunately fixated on one guy for a billion years that lasted into adulthood, unfortunately. But
there's always one, though, isn't there?
I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh my God. See? Attention span.
It's not just me.
Mistakes are made.
Mistakes were made.
It's probably not gonna. I'm that type of person where in the middle of the night I wake up and I'm like, that's what I was gonna say. And I have to write it down, otherwise I'll forget.
Yeah, I always intend to do that, because I'm also the guy that wakes up with an idea, or it's I have a really weird dream, this is something. But instead of writing it down, I just go back to sleep because I'm a lazy, I'm worthless. I
love sleep too much to write things down.
Sleep is awesome. So when it comes to comedy, what would you say is kind of your gold standard for a comedy? It could be a story, it could be a movie, it could be a show.
I feel again, everyone's idea of comedy is vastly different.
It's generational. It really is generational.
Agreed.
Too. So I actually did write a thing about this. It was a thesis in college. I wrote about this. And it was looking at the movie Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
And how kind of literary, it was literary evolution, but that was what I kept coming back to, is that that was looked at as like, this is the highlight of 80s comedy. It was that in Animal House that my dad always played. It was like, this is hilarious. And it's like, he rapes that woman. Like that is what happens 100%. In that film. But that was comedy. That was what funny stuff was. Horrible. But that was what flew in the 80s as comedy, where now it's like we're kind of on the tail end of the Dick in the Box era with comedy. I think there really hasn't been anything I think of lately that is like super, this is the thing, you know?
You make a good point, because now I'm thinking like some of my all-time favorite like romance like rom-com movies, especially like 16 Candles. There were some funny bits, but they're horribly problematic. Like there's some serious racism issues. There's some serious, there was definitely a rape scene, because a lot of rape scenes in 80s movies. She's totally trashed, and she definitely gets raped by that freshman. And then it also calls into questions. He's like a 13, 14-year-old guy. What does that mean?
Where exactly is the line? It has to be somewhere.
Yes, and also her boyfriend was the one who left her and like gave permission for that kid to do whatever to her body. And so I'm also like, there's a whole bunch of questions that need asked there. You
don't have ownership, sir.
Yes. And so like, I feel like comedy in that way has changed. Like back then as a kid, I thought that was the end all be all. But now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, I can laugh without bringing down a whole culture of people.
Yeah, exactly. So
cool.
So I started off kind of wanting to make a joke out of the Shakespeare comedy thing, but I'm thinking about this a little bit more now. The best obviously, I think comedy is still more haha jokies.
Yes.
But the best comedy is the comedy, and I said this last week, where you are laughing and then it punches you in the face with something real. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I feel like either comedy, it exists, it'll try to make you think, or it's Dick in a Box, or it's, I wrote a sketch. I wrote it with Ross, actually. It was more his baby than mine, but I definitely put my spin on it, where it's called The Pay Toilet. And the whole concept was, this guy is at work and he goes to the bathroom and there's a pay toilet, but he doesn't know when he sits on it. And essentially, like, it traps you until you pay. And that's the premise. And it's like, it is the most juvenile, this is a poop joke thing ever.
Yes.
None of them are funny. They're cute, at least. They're cute.
Exactly. Sometimes it's what you need, though. Actually, when I think of comedy, and I always go back to TV or shows because I'm obsessed with movies and shows, I think of Bob's Burgers. Like, when I think unproblematic, but also freaking hilarious. At first, when I first watched Bob's Burgers when it premiered, like, I don't know how many years ago, hated it. I don't know if it was the artwork or I don't know. I just felt like this is not something I like. And now, like, I think it was during COVID, I started rewatching it and I fell in love with the characters, the family, and I realized this is awesome. Like, they're not ripping different cultures apart. They're not using, I don't know, minorities as some kind of laughing point. It's just a family that loves each other, that's really poor, but really tries to keep it together. And like, for me, that's what I want to come down to. Like, how can I make people laugh without completely destroying other people?
Another thing we did was called Paranormal Inactivity. And the idea was, it was Ted meets Ghostbusters, I think was what we were going for.
Ooh.
Where the kid's is best friends with a ghost who's sent back to Earth to like guard him, otherwise he goes to hell. A lot of my stuff involves not going to hell. But the caveat is it's a jump forward. The whole series takes place when the kid's now an adult and he's just stuck with this stoner ghost who died during Woodstock. And it just makes fun of every stoner trope ever.
See, I like that. Like,
yeah, and it's like
they're picking fun. That teasing, A-okay. And I think, like, I don't like a lot of solid lines to be drawn in life just because it's a little silly. But when it comes to comedy, I feel like we all know what's okay and what's not. Teasing, super cute. Everyone loves that. But when you, for instance, growing up, and we grew up together, middle school and high school, I used to get a lot of either horrible Black jokes, horrible Jew jokes, horrible jokes as a woman. Like, those ones just actually weren't funny. I laughed because everyone else was laughing, but mostly I just felt uncomfortable. It's like, oh, is that really what you think of me? Teasing was okay, but jokes that really came at someone's identity, I'm like, I have grown past those.
Yeah, it's like, I'm out. This is where I draw this is my Tiananmen Square.
Exactly.
Which is, that in itself is one of those jokes that I'm not sure if it's funny or not, but what is
exactly?
Okay, so this is the conversation I have with a lot of different people regularly, because it's one of those things I find fascinating. When does tragedy become funny? We make jokes about like Abe Lincoln getting shot at the theater, or there's Pearl Harbor jokes, and
hell yes.
Like, when does stuff like that become culturally not acceptable, I guess, but relevant, or kind of it's a commonplace theme? Because like 9/11 still feels too close, and maybe because I was alive during it, but it still feels too close for me to really make jokes. But a good World War II joke every now and then, a good one, good one.
It has to be. I agree with that. I feel like for me, when the person who caused the issues has been rightfully handled. So when I think of that, I think of either the person who like caused the pain has been like dealt with, or it's been like hundreds of thousands of years. Then those are my two areas. So like, for instance, Romeo and Juliet, it's been hundreds of years, plus it was fiction. Okay, they were teenagers killing themselves over nothing. I laugh every time. Like, for instance, I don't make a lot of slave jokes just because I don't think a lot of reparations have been made for Black people, and there's so much that's still impacting.
It is still it is still definitely here. Like, you can say, oh, slavery has been abolished.
But it hasn't. I'll make jokes within the Black community. That one I feel safe with, but out like the rest of the world, I'm probably not going to make those jokes just because I feel so uncomfortable. But it really does vary. It really does. Like, who am I speaking with? What's the community in general? Like, the jokes I would make with my mother, who is a white, right-wing Republican, not the same jokes I would make with my husband, who is left-leaning sweetheart.
I like how this podcast has turned just into therapy.
I genuinely believe that writing for me has become that. Like, I transitioned obviously from the therapy world into writing, but I think it has been so therapeutic for me. I'm processing so much of my dumb adolescence, and now here I am as an adult, and I'm like, ooh, what a mess.
What a mess. Before we wrap up, though, there are two things I would like to do. One is, of course, what do you want to work on for the next episode? I have already said that I'm going to try to finish that Heaven story and write a personal essay about, I swear I'll remember this. It was a personal essay about, oh no. Oh yeah, the stepping into my past thing. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, I got that now. Okay, cool. So those are my two projects that I'm gonna try to get done, and likely I will start a dozen more and then I'll never finish, but those are the two I'm working on now. What do you got going on? What are you thinking about for next episode?
My goal is to at least finish the personal essay I was writing about my sexual experiences with men. Just want to finish it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be amazing. I just want to finish it because I think it's really important that I talk about those, because not all of them were consensual. Not all of them were enjoyable. So that's important.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. That sounds like good goals, good attainable goals.
Woo!
All right. The other thing that I want to do, and I'll get the ball rolling in this episode, and we'll pick it up with you in the next one. There is a project I want to try called Crumple Story. So when I was in 5th grade, a writing project that we had was called Crumple Story. All of our desks in the classroom were arranged in a circle. We would write the first paragraph of a story, crumple it up, throw it into the middle of the ring, and then you would just pick a random ball of paper and you would write the next paragraph.
Ooh.
So I think this could be a fun thing. That's another thing I want to write, but it's kind of less of a project. I'm going to write the first paragraph of a story, and I will toss it off to you for the next episode.
I love that so much. I'm so excited.
I'm glad to hear it. So with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of the Writer's Block podcast. I've been Lego Mike Grego. This is my amazing co-host, Taylor Thomas.
Woo!
And you can get this podcast in places because the first episode hasn't gone up yet. So I got to figure out, I got to learn the podcasting process. I was going to use an app called Anchor because and I still might, just because it will automatically put your RSS feed in things like iTunes and Spotify. So you don't have to do it because all that stuff is actually really confusing to me.
It is.
But we'll figure it out. It'll at least be on YouTube. So that's something. I made art. It's nice. It's a nice little, you're looking at it right now if you're listening to this. So that's cool. Feedback is important, especially when you're starting a new venture. So please leave comments. Be nice, of course, but leave comments. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Let us know ways we can improve, things you would like to see us do. Send us your thoughts and things on the things that we say.
Yes.
We would be honored to have a conversation with anyone out there. Ground control to Major Tom, you know. And that will do it. That's episode 2 of the Writer's Block podcast. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Oh, good. The Zoom meeting will end in 10 minutes. So we timed this pretty well.
We really
2
did.
weeks in a row, Zoom. You ain't getting me. One day I'll get wise and just go, let's go to Discord. But until then, catch ya on the flip flop. That's my outro catchphrase now. I'm gonna use that. I have never been able to figure out an outro ever.
Me neither.
Like I've been doing
Ever.
videos since a long time, 2009. Never once figured out like a solid outro. I've been Lego Mike Grego. That's been Taylor. You guys have been awesome, and we will see you in the next episode of Writer's Black.